Welcome to The Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi everybody, I'm Ron Brewington and welcome to The Actor's Choice. Brought to you by Photography as an Art, Javi Brandman, Master Photographer. Located at 1307 North San Fernando Boulevard, Burbank, California. And attorney Ron Irwin's 5150 The Book. It's the story of a young Irwin serving 13 months in South Vietnam as a Marine. And author Larry Buford's book to the future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, available in paperback for only $17.95. And State Farm agent Carla Green, who says, and like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very proud and happy today to have a veteran actor as our guest. He's a Los Angeles-based actor, active in all media. I say again, active in all media, film, television, equity theater, commercials, and voiceovers. When you see our guest, and you just saw him just a moment ago, you'll say, hey, I've seen him before. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Gino Montesinos. Welcome, Gino. Welcome. Glad I've waited for this day to have you here. My pleasure. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Pleasure's all mine.
We thank you so much for taking some time out to be here today. I know you are one busy guy, as our audience will see within the next hour. They'll find out that you are a very busy man. Okay, you're LA based, but where'd you come from originally?
I'm originally from New York City.
New York City. The city's so nice they named it twice. The city's so pretty they named it New York City.
That's right.
What part of New York City, sir?
That's right. I grew up in Queens.
Queens?
And I grew up in Harlem.
Harlem, did you say across 110th Street?
That's
Harlem?
right. Yeah,
right.
I lived in 113th Street.
All right. I lived in Harlem, born and raised in Harlem Hospital, had a great day.
Amazing place.
Amazing place. Would love to go. Have you been to Harlem lately?
I haven't been in a while, but it's changed a lot. It's gentrification's like, I think since Clinton came in or something.
Yes.
But I haven't been back. When I was there, I was dodging bullets. So it was a little different. It was more natural.
Yeah. It's good to be back in Harlem.
Yeah.
Indeed. I see you started your career, as a youth in the theater. Can you talk about that, please?
Yeah, well, speaking about Harlem, I came up through the Puerto Rican Traveling Theater Children's Training Unit, and basically I was a juvie. I was a juvenile delinquent. I was a very weird kid. I had straight A's, like all A's, and all unsatisfactories. And so, I would do tests, like a half-hour test in 5 minutes, and then I would get in trouble. And so, basically, by the time I was 7 or 8, I was like breaking into cars, and it was, like burglary and all kinds of stuff. And my parents were, my father was a teacher, my mother was a shopkeeper, and they were just basically terrified that I was going to become a hoodlum. And so they basically needed something to keep me off the streets. In the morning I go to school, and then, they're working people. My father was working on his master's, and my mother, she was working from like 7 in the morning to like 7 p.m. And that's when kids get in trouble from 3 to 7. People get into drugs.
Not there to keep out.
Exactly.
Right.
I was a latchkey kid. Typical.
Kids,
I've been on the subway since I was like 8 years old. Buses and stuff like that. I mean, all my friends were from Brooklyn, Jamaica. All like the really dangerous neighborhoods. So they found a program for kids. Basically, at 3 o'clock, we went and studied theater till about 9 o'clock. No, till about 7 o'clock. Then you have to take the subway home. So you physically couldn't get in trouble. And so I think that saved my life, like literally. Like maybe I'm in jail or something, or dead or whatever, And I think it's actually quite useful for acting. One of my mentors is Emilio Rivera, an ex-Frogtown gangster. He taught me how to be more West Coast as opposed to East Coast. He's Sons of Anarchy, the Mayan president. He's on Mayans MC, etc. And we did Collateral together with Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx. And my energy was more New York. And he's like, no, homie, you gotta be smooth, because I played his right hand man.
Yes.
Javier Bardem, we played like his henchman and stuff like that.
I see.
And anyway, so that's how I got into acting.
As I read your resume, excuse me, you went to a lot of schools and a lot of theaters you stepped into.
Yeah.
Please tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, I was just, I had a really wonderful junior high school teacher, Mr. Isaac. I still remember him, from England, an Englishman. And he was showing Olivier's Hamlet to a bunch of 7th graders. And I remember everybody was making fun of Mr. Isaac, because he was kind of like a pictured Oxford professor, sort of an eccentric kind of dude.
Very British.
Very British. And, I'm a Latino from Queens, man. I was like, wow, he's like a Martian. He's kind of like cool, I was just interested, I've always been, I think that's why I'm an actor. I've always been interested in people, different types of people. And so, and all the other kids were making fun of him and making fun of Olivier, which really pissed me off. And from a point of justice, like I was, I've taken on bullies before. Like I had a big fight in 3rd grade, pummeled him, and they had to, sixth graders had to take me off. I'm kind of like a justice person. And so like, I kind of like, told everybody to chill, and then everybody got quiet. I became a sergeant of arms. I became his sergeant at arms. And then the kids started getting into the Shakespeare, and then when he would we didn't understand the words, but we could understand the emotion. Emotion is universal. And then he would explain the story of Hamlet to us. And then I personally felt like I am Hamlet, me personally. And ever since then, I've been interested in Shakespeare. And so, basically, I had a lot of mentors. One of my mentors was, she doesn't remember this, but when I was 9 years old, I saw her on Broadway, Yvonne Cole. And I saw her and Keith David on Broadway.
Keith David, good friend.
A black man and a Latina woman on Broadway doing Shakespeare that Mr. Isaac had taught me. And I'm like, I can do that. And I saw Keith David and I thanked him, and I saw Yvonne and I thanked her, and, and I've tried to give back. It's very important. And, that's basically, basically it began just to keep me from getting in trouble, and then it just became a love. And I think what it's become now is I'm kind of an anthropologist. I'm interested in people, and I'm interested in cultures, and I want to understand them. I noticed my high school had, my high school was in Elmhurst, Queens, which I think the New York Times called the most international place on the planet, 100 plus countries. In my high school, my best friend was from Pakistan, Muslim, Jewish from Israel, and atheist from Romania. And then me, Roman Catholic from, Colombia. And, I was always kind of like, because of that high school, I was always fascinated by different cultures. And then I just sort of, understood how to get along. And it's very easy to get along with people. It's just respect them. Like, we'd play basketball. Oh, I can't go to synagogue. Oh, I'm going to a mosque. I got to go to, some mass. Tuesday at 6, no religion, basketball.
Basketball.
And that to me is the solution to the Middle East crisis. Play basketball.
Right. A lot easier to solve a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah. I also noted that you were involved in the American Repertory Theatre Institution for Advanced Theatre Training at Harvard University.
Exactly. I basically won a scholarship.
Yes.
I had another wonderful actress. She was Indian and Latina. And she had a master's degree. She was from New Orleans, a master's in fine arts. And she had been one of my teachers. And I had a very bad audition, and I was walking down the street in the village, and I was crying. And she saw me, and she grabbed me, and she's like, "What's going on?" And I told her how I did very badly at these auditions. She says, "What's the audition that you have left?" And I said, "I have, American Repertory Theatre Institute at Harvard University." She says, "This is a very good school." And then she basically coached me for 3 months, several hundred hours. And so when I went there, I was actually very good. you practice anything that much, you're going to be good. I don't care who you are.
Exactly.
And they let me in.
Wow.
And it was incredible. It was an incredible program.
Harvard, my goodness, good school.
I have a daughter. Skip Gates was very nice.
Skip Gates, yes, with the glasses.
He would see me walking down the street.
Had the beer with the president.
Yeah. He would. I'd be walking down the street, and he would stop me. He would just grab my arm.
Wow.
Hey, how you doing, little brother?
Yeah.
He's a good man. I like Skip Gates a lot.
Harvard, huh?
Yeah.
I have a daughter in Yale. I'll leave that alone.
I love Yale. I visited Yale.
Good school in Hartford, Connecticut. Yes.
Yeah. She's smarter. This is me. This is total my opinion. The Yale people, I think, are actually smarter academically and intellectually. The Harvard people are savvier societally. If you look at the stats, they're in more powerful positions. The Harvard people.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, how many presidents? The last 3 presidents went to Harvard.
Right. Went to Harvard, yes.
Yeah.
The Bushes went to Yale.
Yeah.
Hillary went to Yale.
No, but see, Bush also went to Harvard Business School.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Interesting. It's like going to out here, UCLA versus USC.
There you go.
You know, when you went to USC, everybody said, "What school did you went to?" USC. Right this way. Right this way.
But that's why I really appreciated Santa Monica College, because it's affordable. You know, it's affordable Harvard.
Yes.
I mean, it's like, you know, you can skate there if you want, or you can pay attention.
Right.
And, you know, when they say they're the highest transfer to higher education, I really get it.
Yes.
And I was really impressed by all the international students. That's how you know a school's good.
Gotcha.
When the international students are paying big money
big
to
money to come. Yeah.
And they're not going over there. They're coming to a community college. It blew my mind.
Right. #1 transfer in the nation. Rate the nation. Yes.
I believe it.
Yes. Please come on out to, as you know, I teach out there, but come on over there and see the new school and the new satellites campuses that we got. Hey, it'll change you. It'll make you come on back again.
Fantastic.
Come on back. You also trained in martial arts.
Yes. Yes. Again, I was being bullied when I was really young, 8 or 9. I was held up at knife point. I mean, it's New York City, man. It's a dangerous place.
Yeah.
And so my father got really worried, so he put us into martial arts. We started with Shotokan karate, and then we went to Hakuri jiu-jitsu, and then we earned our black belts in Filipino stick fighting. So I learned how to use a stick. I learned how to use a knife, and I shot a movie recently, and I haven't done it in a long time, and I choreographed all the violence, and I'm like, wow, I wouldn't want to fight me. I still remember. It's kind of like a bicycle.
Yeah.
God forbid, like I'm a very peaceful man. I'm proud to say I haven't had a fight since I was 15 years old. Wow. People have insulted me every which way you can, and I'm always out the door. Always have situational awareness. You come into a place and you're always chilling out. I don't care if you're white, black, green, Martian. If your energy's off, you pick it up and you look for the exits. That's martial arts training.
Yes.
And then I play a lot of tough guys, so it's very good. That's why I do a lot of my own stunts. I do a lot of my own fights. And I'm really poor on really low budget movies. I generally tend to be the stunt coordinator because I don't want anybody to get hurt. Right. I did that on Poor Boy with Michael Shannon.
Wow. Yeah. Ladies, the man is also an accomplished dancer.
Yeah.
Shall we dance? Shall we dance?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks to my dad.
Yes.
My dad is an extraordinary salsa dancer.
Yes.
I mean, better than me, amazing, poetic. My dad was also a womanizer, right? So basically, when I started discovering girls, I was about 12. He basically said, "My son, do you like girls?" I said, "Yeah, Dad, yeah. Learn to dance, my son." I said, "No, that's for gay people. That I'm into football. I'm into soccer. I'm into martial arts. That's my son. Do you like women?" And then my dad started dancing, and I noticed that all the girls just kind of went to him, and I just teach me about it, teach me. And so I became a very good dancer.
Yes.
And ladies, man.
Man. And you speak how many languages, sir?
4. I speak 3 really well, and Italian I understand very well, and I'm learning Arabic now.
Wow.
And believe it or not, I just kind of realized this. Arabic isn't that hard.
Wow. Wow.
Took me about a year to figure that one out.
Do you know you carry your Hispanic culture well?
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Wow.
I appreciate that.
Wow. Now, you also did some work down in Mexico City, directing and recording with Carlos Rick Plaza.
Yes.
And another gentleman by the name of Jaime Emmerich.
Jaime Emmerich, yeah. We did a 250-seat theater. We did 1930s radio plays translated in Spanish. and we sort of did it for audiences and to sort of promote literacy, etc. And we did it 3 times. So they'd fly me in over like a 3-year period to do that, and we did all over the United States. I did English and Spanish, and always to promote literacy, and so I became a voiceover. That's how I got into voiceovers, because they're radio plays. So I would have to do 20 voices. 9 voices. So in one show I did 9 voices. So you'd have to do it with an Argentine accent, with a Puerto Rican accent, but however you could do it, and then you just sort of develop your own kind of style. And both Jaime and Carlos Rey Plaza are voiceover stars, and that's how they came in, and they sort of taught me. One thing that I would recommend to actors or any kind of artists is to learn from masters. Emilio Rivera, he knows how to play a bad guy. He was a bad guy many moons ago, so he taught me the lean. Jaime Emerick and Carlos Rey Plaza taught me about working voiceover in Spanish. There's another great guy, Jim Meskimen, taught me how to do voiceovers in English. So you learn, from people. I've worked with 9 Oscar winners, and the one thing that I can tell you is that they have in common is humility and simplicity. Humility and simplicity. Really, I was on early in my career, I was working with Holly Hunter on Living Out Loud. My part got cut out. I was supposed to play the sort of substitute for Danny DeVito. She's having an affair with Danny DeVito, and then they break up, and then she sees me. Not necessarily, I was playing a doorman, not necessarily going to have an affair with me. I was too young for her, but to be a pal. And we have this very nice, scene together. And I remember looking at her, I'm like, oh my God, she just won the Oscar. Oh, that's Danny DeVito. Oh my God, that's John Travolta. Oh, I freaking out. Wow. And she saw it. And she grabbed my hand. She said, just look at me and say your lines to me, and don't worry about anything. We love you. You're here. And I just got, and then the whole people went away, and we created this gorgeous, human connection. It was gorgeous. And then, I got a very nice letter from Richard LaGravenese. I'm sorry, but we had to cut your part out. I should have got my tape, though, because it was killer tape. Right. But so I learned from her that when you get nervous, go into the eyes of your partner, and all the sets go away. Because as a working actor in Hollywood, one of the things they do check is to see. That's why they like to hire you, a person with credits. They don't want you to go goo-goo eyes on a superstar. And it's actually a real thing. Like, actors, I work with Stallone. I got to shoot a machine gun at Stallone, and sure enough, the people in the cast, can we get pictures with him? And he's a very generous guy, but it gets kind of old. Yeah. So they look for real pros who are just, for me, it's like, you're an actor, let's go act. And that's what they look for, But I've learned that humility, be humble and be simple is what I've learned from the Oscar people, all of them. Okay. All of them.
Speaking of expressions, I saw in your resume that you have these personal quotes. I like them.
Thank you.
Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence.
Yeah. Well, that is from Calvin Coolidge. And basically, in my humble travels, I've observed and experienced that being a working actor in Hollywood, for example, there's no rhyme or reason. I could, people have told me, to be a successful actor, you have to be really good looking. I've had personal trainers, and being physically fit. I've had personal trainers, six-pack, perfect, everything, failed actors. And then regular-looking guys, ugly-looking guys, or whatever you want to call it, working all the time, right? Then they say you have to be a great actor. I've known plenty of great actors who don't even have their SAG card. There was an expression in one of my acting classes, the best acting doesn't happen on the screen, it happens here. And there's a truth to it. Because, there's no pressure, you just kind of like going, right? and so they're not working. And then in this business, you have to be connected. And I used to party in New York when I was a wild child with the, jet set people. That's how I got to work on Broadway, and they don't work. And so the only thing that I saw why I work a lot and other people work is persistence. Is that quote, persistence, determination, stamina. It's not just persistent for one day, it's like all the time. Stamina for a long time. Determination, like I'm going to work and that's it.
Yes.
And I celebrate every year on January 3rd my anniversary from when I quit bartending. A job that I loved tremendously where I made a hell of a lot of money. But I was noticing that even though I was doing it part-time on the weekend, it was like this sort of crutch. Can you really make your living as an actor? And so I booked an equity play, and I took the play, and I, quit the job, and they're still my friends. They follow my career, and it really taught me that if you really want to be a successful actor in this business, and I think Denzel Washington agrees with me, be a Viking, burn the boat. They used to come to the far shore, to the land to conquer, and burn the boat. So they got to make it. So, that's just my point of view.
Point of view.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And Denzel's, who I admire tremendously.
His son is doing real good. He got some nominations coming up for that.
Yeah, he was fantastic in Klansman.
Klansman, yeah.
Yeah, he was really, really
like
good.
Like that afro he was wearing.
Yeah.
Looked good.
Yeah.
I understand that you earned your first IMDb actor credit in 1995 with a film role that you did in Killian's Chronicle, The Magic Stone. My friend, please tell us about that role and what you remember.
Yeah, that was really cool. I was discovered, I was a good-looking kid, basically, I was an athlete, right? So I played football, and I was a wide receiver. So I was, very athletic. And this woman saw me, and she saw me in the street, and she asked me, she said, it was very funny. She said, "You're really beautiful." And I looked at her, and I thought, nah, I'm not a call boy. You know what I mean? I'm not a pimp, And I looked at her like, and I looked at her, and I was like, I'm not for sale. And she started laughing. She said, "No, I'm a film director. Are you an actor by any chance?" And I looked at her and I said, Pamela, her name was Pamela Berger. I was like, yeah. And then she said, "I want you to read for this thing for me." And so I read, and she said, "You read really, really well." And then she said, "I want you to play an Indian." I said, "I can't play an Indian. I'm Latino, I'm Hispanic. I'm not Indian." And she smiled. She said, "Do you know where your brown skin comes from?" I said, "Yeah, it comes from Colombia." She says, "Okay, show me where your people are from." And she had this map. She was an archaeologist.
Okay.
And she pulled out a map of all the tribes and where they come from. And she says, "Okay, you're from Barranquilla. You're Caribe." And I went to my grandmother and I said, "Are we Caribe?" And she got like, ¿Cómo tú sabes? ¿Cómo tú sabes? How do you know? How do you know? Because unfortunately, in Latin America, that's frowned upon to be Indian. It's horrible.
Yeah. It's
horrible. And so I was not told that. I was just told that I'm Colombian. I was also told that I'm not black. My father is part black. He's a Sambo, which means, Sambo in the real word the original word comes from, I think, Brazil or Brazil, Portuguese, or from Spain, which means a mixture of African and Indian.
Right.
So the Cherokees weren't the only ones who were mixed. It was whatever happened in the U.S. Remember, happened in South America 116 years earlier, 1492 versus 1608, after the British had learned how much money there was in slavery. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So here I am, this mixed race kid. I have my parents, to protect me. No, you're Colombian. I didn't know anything about my racial background, which is unfortunate.
Yes.
And and it's funny because all the casting directors and the directors, that's all they like they're so happy about that. You're so interesting looking. You're a mix. You're, what is that called? Ethnically ambiguous.
Yes.
And it's true, I can play Arabs. And, you know, the part of Colombia where I'm from, there's many Arab people,
right.
which is why my manager assigned me to learn Arabic, because she's been getting a lot of interest in me as an Arab person. So, make a long story short, she sent my tape to the elders of a tribe in Connecticut that had a casino that was bankrolling the film.
Right.
And they said, yeah, this gentleman could definitely play what's called a Passamaquoddy,
right.
which is from New England. It's actually from Nova Scotia, but we shot it in New England. And so once the tribe, the North American Indians, passed this South American Indian to look like a North American Indian,
right.
my career as a Native American actor began.
Okay, well, we got a surprise for you.
Yeah.
Tony, would you roll that, please? This is a film that you might remember.
Yes, yes, yes.
To compound my problem, the healing woman made me sit in front of her house, where everyone could look at me.
Manigil ketuji ketinu kaun?
Ninanid, dizelezegunga?
He showed me he too had a leg wound, but I knew his was made by the arrow of the boy. Then he went into a dance that seemed to tell a story of the hunt. And I remembered, this was the man who'd killed the bear. This friendly, dancing man.
Wow.
Thank
wow. You. Wow.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
think you'd like to see that.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things I've ever
Yes.
done in my career. I learned the language.
Yes.
Only 500 people in North America speak that language. At this point, probably only 400. They're probably dead.
Wow.
Okay, so I learned that language, and that dance, I choreographed that. The professor who was the director said to me, gave me some actual texts and information from, I think it was, what are they called? Priests who travel, missionaries.
Missionaries, okay.
And gave me sort of Xeroxes of texts. She said, these are the kind of symbols that mean this and that. I want you to choreograph for me a bear dance using these symbols. So I spent a lot of time, this means bear, this means whatever. And so that is an actual dance that could be true 1,000 years ago.
Wow. You learn something new every day.
Which is why I love being an actor, because
Yes.
you learn something new every day.
Every day. Okay. We got to take a break.
Okay.
Okay. And when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we got a very gracious guest today. Gino Montesinos is here today, and we'll be back in just a little bit. Harvey Brandman, Photography as an Art, is proud to offer you a $100 discount off any photo package valued at $300 or more. Now, Harvey's been in the business for nearly a quarter of a century, and he certainly knows how to take care of his customers. So, please give him a call today at 818-954-9294. That's 818-954-9294. You'll be glad that you did. And by the way, please tell Harvey that you heard about his offer right here on The Actor's Choice. 5150 The Book is the latest release from author and attorney Ron Irwin. As a young Marine, Irwin spent 13 months in Chu Lai, Republic of Vietnam. His experience, where nearly 3 million Americans went to war, was, as he puts it, 5150. The book is currently available in paperback at lulu.com, and Irwin says he'll give 20% of net book sales split evenly between the veterans of foreign wars and Vietnam veterans of America. Book to the Future. Time Travel, Message in a Capsule. It's a new book by author Larry Buford. It's a historical and faith-based account of how what we do and follow today will affect us tomorrow. The author also calls it an adventure for those who want to travel back through time. The book is now available in paperback for only $17.95 from Amazon, so get your copy today. And now, a word from State Farm agent Carla Green.
Let me ask you
Montessori.
something. What do you see when you look at your home and your car? Do you see a bundle? A combo deal? That's how other insurance companies see them. But a State Farm agent sees so much more. Because the State Farm agent sees your home and your car as more than just 4 walls and 4 wheels. They see the things you've worked really hard for. So why not give them the protection they deserve? Let me help you with that. Give me a call. State Farm agent Carla Green, 213-239-9675. I look forward to speaking with you.
Finally, if you have a product, ladies and gentlemen, that you'd like to service or an upcoming event that you'd like to see advertised on this program, please call at 323-533-1036. That's 323-533-1036. Our prices are very affordable. Thank you. Roll it, Tony.
Amber was right. This was no accident.
And then after that, you replace West-based muffler. 3 weeks after that, his windshield. 3 weeks after that, tires, etc., etc. Hey, tell me, you ever work on West-based brakes by any chance?
Maybe. I'm a mechanic. I do mechanical things.
Well, it says here you do a lot more than that. Arrest for check fraud, bank fraud.
I did my time. You got a point.
What I got is 2 murder victims and a feeling you had something to do with at least one of them.
Whoa, slow down. I ain't got nothing to do with any of that.
You know something? We can just call your parole officer and talk to her.
You make that call.
All
I'm
right.
back in the big house.
All right. That's beautiful. NCIS, about what year did you do that? About 19 or 2018 or 2017?
Yeah, last year.
Last year.
Actually, yeah, last year, 2017. 2017.
I like NCIS.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Yeah, good show. Very good show.
Yeah.
I'd like to take a few moments to talk about a project that you've done called Fallen Angel.
Yeah.
Now, this is a music video.
Yeah.
Okay. And it addresses the opioid crisis in today's world. And we want people to take a look at it. We want to let them understand this is serious what you're doing right here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell us what stimulated you to create this program?
Well, what happened was I'm a type of artist who does research.
Okay.
You know, I really like to work with my imagination. And so when the artist came to me, the project fell on my lap. The artist came to me, and I also like to work from a personal basis. You can do both. And I said to her, you know, tell me, what is it that, why did you write this? And she told me about her best friend, one of her childhood friends, progressively got into heavier and heavier drugs, finally graduating into heroin. And she's the fallen angel. So that the girl in the music video is her friend, and she wrote that song for her friend, who she considers an angel who has fallen, because you know all children are angels,
right?
And then you know they can grow up to not be angels anymore, so fallen angel. And so she told me about that, and I got really moved because my childhood friend died of an opioid. Accidental opioid overdose, prescriptions, and she basically drowned in her own vomit. She died, and she was like my first love. What do you call it? Puppy love?
Puppy love, yeah.
And I was crying and everything. So I wanted to make kind of a sort of like a homage, like a sort of a, I dedicated to these 2 fallen angels. And basically I began doing research, and I found out that there's something, what we're experiencing right now, called an opioid crisis.
Yes. Oh,
and
God,
it's a very serious thing. It's basically, a few years ago, doctors began prescribing opioids like candy. You get into a car accident, here, have an opioid. You have your teeth pulled. My own dentist, I had my wisdom teeth pulled a few years ago, have some OxyContin. I'm like, sir, I've been sober for 19 years. I don't take OxyContin. Oh, sorry, here's ibuprofen. I didn't take any ibuprofen, and he was shocked that I didn't take any drugs.
Right.
And I said, sir, I'm drug and alcohol free 19 years. Let's get on with it, fix my teeth. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it really helped me to realize how drug-oriented our society is, and it's unnecessary. As a sober person, I can tell you it's unnecessary. And basically, the research that I found was in 2016, more people died in 1 year, 60,000 people, of opioid, heroin, and what's called fentanyl. Fentanyl is a Chinese-created artificial drug that is 50 times more potent than heroin, which is now laced, the drug cartels now lace their heroin. They basically cut it because it's so cheap and it's so powerful. They use less heroin and more fentanyl, and they're overdosing people without realizing.
Wow.
Okay, and so I found that out. And so in 2016, I think the year was, more people died in 1 year from opioid overdoses than in 16 years of combat soldiers in the Vietnam War, which was one of the bloodiest wars in history.
Wow.
And so that just kind of blew my mind. And so I began to look at the music video in a different way. Again, research married with the personal.
Yes.
And I made the video is actually, I also found out that there's something called your life flashing before your eyes. It's a real thing. It's called a deathbed hallucination. And it's the way the spirit tries to sort of come to terms with a life they're just about to leave. And so the entire video is from the point of view of the fallen angel, the junkie. And her life is flashing before her eyes.
Okay.
And that's what the video is about.
Okay. Let's take a look at the video and let's talk some more after
Sure,
this.
sure.
Tony, can you roll that, please?
She was lost, lost in the wind. The snow fell down from her skin. Innocence gone, and the darkness came in. The angels prayed to save her from sin. Flowers grow, and she's flourishing, and her seasons change, but she's evil within. She wants to go back to an innocent girl, but she's addicted to destroying herself. Lord, please help her. She needs saving. Fallen angel, God forsaken. Please don't drink from evil's cup.
Wow. Wow, Tony. Wow. Tony, that was something. Gino? Wow.
Thank
wow.
you. Thank you.
You see, you're able to, with the knowledge that you have, I mean, over 75 IMDb credits. You've done writing, you're a producer, you're a stuntman, you've done so many things. You took all that knowledge and put it together and used that medium to show people. I mean, you're sticking a needle in all that. People don't like, oh, I don't want to see that, but that's what really happens.
Yeah.
People are addicted.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah, and the thing, again, research, the thing
Yes.
that I learned was that every person who shoots heroin,
Yes.
Practically every person hates needles, or
Right.
hated needles, but you overcome it because the hunger is so great,
hunger,
you get over it pretty quickly.
Yes.
And it's like, so, it's just, it just really breaks my heart.
Got you. How long did it take you from the idea to the final product, which we just saw?
13 months.
13 months.
Yeah, 13
Okay.
months.
And what did you do during that 13-month period?
I did a lot of editing. There's over 400 edits in that.
Okay.
I don't know if you follow, like a movie, a minute might have, like you could watch the NCIS, maybe 10 or 15 edits or something.
Right.
I'm at 40 or 50. So I worked very closely with my editor.
Okay.
And, it took like 3 days to shoot.
Right.
It took us It took us it took us 13 months or 12 and a half months to edit.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, this is a special project for you. This was your directorial debut.
Yes. Yes. Basically, I had just finished a directing program at the Acting Center of Sherman Oaks.
Okay.
It's really a hidden gem. People need to know about it. I'm already a working actor, already making money, but I'm always looking to, learn from people who know more than me. And 4 actor professors basically created a technique that, through their own research, and tested it. And they've used it on from beginners to Oscar-nominated actors. I've been in class with a lot of famous people and then working guys like me. And I knew that I could. I directed about 28 theater pieces, but I had a little sort of trepidation that I couldn't direct film because I'd just never done it. So I just decided. Quentin Tarantino spoke about. Anybody can direct a film. You just have to have a strong vision. I don't really. My films aren't amazing because I'm an amazing director. No, I hire amazing craftsmen and I tell them exactly what I want and they give it to me. That freed me up tremendously. I look forward to working with him. Freed me up tremendously. Okay. And so I know that I have a vision, and so I put my vision there. 110%, that's my vision. And I would tell the editor, this is what I want. And you can drive people crazy, you can drive yourself crazy, but when you have a clear vision, and that's what I learned how to find at the Act Center and the directing technique. And then when I finished it, I'm like, I can tell you I'm ready to direct a feature.
Right.
Then I directed another one on rape, which we'll talk about, come another time and talk about it.
4 p.m.?
4 p.m.
Right.
From start to finish, 2 weeks. Sat with the girl, she told me a story how she was raped, and she wanted me to tell a story about that, and we workshopped, shot it, including physical violence, and it's kind of like a Karate Kid with an Iraqi, ex-Republican guard protecting this innocent German girl against Russian thugs. It's just kind of like a thing that developed, and the thing that I learned about it was that I did it so quickly. And then I reviewed it, and I'm like, that's pretty good. And so, I think this was my first one. I was a little trepidatious, so careful. And the second one, I'm like, we don't have time. Let's go. Boom, boom. And then you look back. Well, that's actually pretty good. So I understand how Woody Allen and Clint Eastwood, 2 heroes of mine, can do a picture a year.
Yes.
Because they don't mess around. They're like, that looks good. Moving on. That looks good. Moving on. Whereas other artists,
you got to take 25.
No, you don't need to do that.
What has been the reaction since it hit the screen?
Wonderful. We've gotten a lot of feedback. A lot of she's spoken at a bunch of universities. A lot of clinics have asked to, to be able to use that as promotion for their stuff. I personally have gotten a lot of, people in the industry like, gee, you're like a really good director, And I have a theory, this is my personal opinion, that storytelling is storytelling. And actors are, I think, make great writers and make great directors and make great producers. I love the work Bradley Cooper's doing right now. He's another hero of mine. I really respect him. He's a storyteller. And it really doesn't surprise me that his directing and writing and even song composing is so excellent because he understands how to storytell as an exceptional actor.
Yes.
And that's where I think I'm moving my career.
Got you. Now, I noticed there were several women in there singing. Who were those persons, please?
The woman singing is Soy Fabulous. Okay. She's the girl in the film. That's her song. Okay. And there's also the woman. That's an actress. She's playing the junkie.
Yes.
And then there's also Angela Kenton, who does the second song in the credits, who is a gospel singer. Soy is a Latina rock en español artist, and Angela Kenton is a gospel singer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talented ladies.
Yeah.
Why black and white?
Good question. It just came to me that I wanted black and white to be purity, and then we move into color, which is, we're in color right now. And so I wanted us to go from purity to destruction. Our earth is being destroyed. We are destroying our earth, and it's in color, like the curtain is red.
Yes. Okay.
So that's why I did that.
Okay. Plans for? Are you planning on taking it on tour?
Yeah. What I think. We just. This is the culminating a 6-month promotional tour. I've talked about this movie. I'm told to 40+ million people in 53 countries in English and Spanish with all the interviews I've done. The next thing I'm going to do is do the festival circuit and see what happens.
Okay.
And I'm going to develop 4 p.m. because it has to do with rape. Okay. And with women need to. I'm a martial artist. Women need to know how to defend themselves.
Wow.
They do. And I remember, I'm a big dude, so nobody really bothers me, but I remember as an 8-year-old being bullied, a little skinny little 8-year-old. And I learned my karate, and I pummeled him. I mean, I pummeled him, and no one came near me for 10 years. Good. And then I pummeled him, the other 15-year-old. Right. And, and then I got, 5'11", 200 pounds, and nobody bothers me. And I keep out of trouble so I don't wind up in prison, and I'd have to be a gladiator.
Gotcha.
So I would love to see women, because, study martial arts. I think it's important.
Right.
They know how to dance, they know how to do law now. They're making 87 cents on the dollar. They're doing all these kind of stuff. But there are jerks out there.
Right.
And you need to know how to redirect their energy, and you don't have to get into Krav Maga. You can get into Aikido, Jiu-Jitsu, where you just redirect energy, like a petite girl with a 300-pound guy uses his 300 pounds against him, and then run.
Wow.
Bruce Lee spoke about running as being maybe the most effective weapon of a martial artist, something like that. So women should be like at the treadmill.
Yes, yeah, working it off.
If you ever watch Your Born Identity, he says, I can run 1 mile in 4 minutes or whatever. Yes. Women need to do that. Right. Can you run a mile? Right. And me too, but I know how to fight. But anyway, that's just like a personal thing of mine, because I've had I'm an artist and I'm very friendly with women, and we all talk. And a lot of women have told me about sexual abuse and rape and assault, and I kind of like, wow.
Wow. Sky's the limit. Sky is the limit. You have any way you
so
want
that's
it.
what that, that's what, and I guess that's what I'm doing. I work as an actor. I take whatever job I can make and I make it special, but then I use independent film, and now it's really cheap to make films. So I really just talk about what I want.
Okay. Yeah. We got to go.
Okay.
The clock on the wall says we got to go. I wish we could get you back again, because you have so much to say. Got to say special thanks to our sponsors, Harvey Brandman, Photography is an Art, Ron Irwin's 5150 The Book, Larry Buford's Book to the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, and State Farm Agent Carla Green. Sincerely, sir, I want to thank veteran actor Gino Montesinos.
Perfect.
Gino, I hope that you come back again.
My pleasure.
May I have your right hand, sir?
Yeah.
It's a trademark of mine. I always give people a silver dollar for good luck. Hold on to it, my brother. Hold on to it. Do well with that movie that you got, that music video.
Thank you.
Your publicist want to thank especially Camille Lopez from Espada PR, and definitely her boss, Jasmine Espada. Hope you all have a good year this year.
Thank you, Jasmine.
Thank you.
Camille, thank you.
Thank you. Before we go, we just want to roll that top tape as long as you can. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. See you.